That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? Piracy has always been an issue. I mean, going back to Napster, right? Anybody remember Napster? Ooh, that was a big deal at the time. Wait a minute. I can download music for free?
Not
It's
if
the
Metallica
craziest
says
thing.
so.
It's the craziest thing. And it like took over the world. There's never going to stop Napster. Well, they stopped Napster. But, Napster got stopped because the industry evolved. Apple Music, iTunes came out with this idea. You know what? We're going to make it simple and cheap for you to acquire this music. What was it, like $1 a song or whatever it was at the time? And you can download legally, showing that, listen, people are totally fine with paying for the content they get if it's convenient and reasonably priced. If it's convenient, reasonably priced, and simple to do, and therefore Napster kind of dried up and went away. We saw for a good number of years, anti-piracy campaigns and moves and things like that started to work. As going up to about 2020, we saw declines in piracy. But piracy is back, matey, and stronger than ever and resurging. There's this great article right now in The Guardian where the headline is "Can't Pay, Won't Pay," and impoverished streaming services are driving viewers back to piracy. As subscription costs rise and choice diminishes on legal sites, film and TV fans are turning to VPNs and illicit streamers, with Sweden, home of both Spotify and the Pirate Bay, leading the way. As a matter of fact, one of the things statistics mentioned in this is the fact that these are people who admit it. 25% admit that they will illegally stream things. Here's another interesting thing. Like back in the day of pirate, you can take that down now, Jonathan. Back in the day of Pirate Bay and stuff like that, the way we pirated was we downloaded files. Now they're saying 94% of the piracy that's happening is illegal streaming. They don't download the files like through a BitTorrent. They find a site, a black site, and stream it and stuff like that. Interesting stuff. So what's behind all this? What's been going on? Well, there's a number of kind of things that have been evolving that have created a fertile ground for a rise in piracy. First of all is price increases, right? You can bring up my screen there. Yeah, price increases. Right now, the cost of Disney Plus ad-supported tier. Remember, Disney Plus did not start when I was in high school. Disney Plus started just a couple of years ago.
Wait, how old are you, John?
It happened just a couple of years ago. Mandalorian season 1. And today, the price of Disney Plus's ad-supported tier is more expensive than Disney Plus with no ads was when it first launched. The prices of these and it's not just Disney Plus, and Disney Plus isn't even the worst. I've lost count of how many times Netflix has announced price increases over the line. The prices just keep going up and up and up at an incredibly rapid rate, far outpacing inflation. You can't just go, well, inflation. No. The price increases are vastly outpacing inflation. Also, the second kind of factor here is dispersal of content. It used to be like, let's take the iTunes store when it first came out. You can get all your music on iTunes. There was one place you could go and you can get your music. Then competitors came out, but still you can go to any one of the competitors and get whatever music you wanted. Not that long ago, you didn't have to go all over the place to get a lot of streaming. But as all the studios started developing their own streamers as alternatives to Netflix, suddenly there was no centralized stuff to get all your content. You want to watch Landman? Got to have Disney Plus. You want to watch Daredevil Born Again? You got to have Disney Plus. Or Paramount Plus was for Landman.
Yeah.
Disney Plus. Here, you want to watch the new Harry Potter series? You got to have HBO. Hey, you want to watch reruns of The Office? You got to have Peacock. You want to watch... Now you've got to have all these streaming. Hell, even if you're a football fan, you want to see every game? Well, you got to have an Amazon Prime Video account to watch the Thursday games. You got to have ESPN's account to watch these games. You're going to have it's just, there is no centralized content. So now, if you want to just be a viewer of all the popular stuff, you got to have like 7 or 8 memberships. So price increase, dispersal of content. And the third thing that's becoming a bigger and bigger question mark is the question of ownership or the lack thereof. It used to be, once you downloaded that song, you owned it. I mean, you didn't own the rights to the song, but it was your song. You can put it on your, what was it called? Your, what was the Apple device called again? The
Who cares? It's all about
iPod.
The iPod.
It's all about the Zune, baby.
Yeah. Hey, you download it. You could put it on your Zune.
Zune HD.
You could put it on your iPod. You could put it on your little Asus MP3 player.
Oh, yeah.
You could I still had one of those about the size of a thumb drive.
Yep.
You could hold up to 12 songs on it, Jonathan.
Dude, it's good enough for a run. You go on a run, you
12
got your...
songs.
Yeah.
I miss mine.
Plug your headphones into it because there was no Bluetooth. But today now, like, you can buy a copy of a movie and then theoretically, it's never happened to me, but theoretically speaking, that service in 2 years could just remove it from their libraries and you get no refund and you're just out of luck. So price increases, dispersal of content, questions of ownership. You know, there's a saying going around now that says, if buying doesn't equal ownership, then piracy doesn't equal stealing. That's not true, but I understand why people say it. I do. And here's the thing, Rob. Listen, stealing is stealing. It just is. Just because a Ferrari is too expensive for me to afford doesn't justify me going and taking it.
No.
Right? Yeah. Hey, this stuff is unreasonable. That doesn't justify stealing it. But I understand the motivation.
I ain't saying you should have killed her.
Yeah.
But I understand.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. What a great time to be a sports fan. Basketball playoffs are on. Hockey playoffs are on. It is the perfect time to jump into the action with PrizePicks, the easiest and most fun way to turn your sports knowledge into real winnings. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made really simple. Just pick more or less on a few player projections, like points, assists, goals, and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. For example, this week, I've got Jalen Brunson for more than 24.5 points, or Jason Tatum for more than 6.5 rebounds. I love how fast and easy it is to lock in a lineup in just under a minute. Plus, they've got a couple of weekly features, like, for example, Flex Friday. If your lineup doesn't win, you get your net losses back in promo funds. And every Tuesday, check out Taco Tuesday for discounted player projections up to 25% off. So download the app today and use the code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Like price increases, dispersal of content, questions of ownership. But here's the thing that really shocks me. All right, these are the numbers. Take a look at this. So as we look at these things of price increases, dispersal of content, question of ownership, as piracy was declining up till 2020, visits to piracy websites have surged from 130 billion site visits in 2020, which is still a lot, to 216 billion site visits in 2024. Up until
in a year.
In 4 years. Yeah, per year.
Yeah. Now, there ain't but 8 billion people on the whole planet. Yeah. Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Were combating piracy well. People were moving away from piracy because tools were coming out, like when iTunes came out, that made it simpler, reasonably priced, straightforward. But as it's gotten more convoluted, as it's gotten more expensive, as it's became more dispersed, and now with all these questions about, do you even own the damn thing? From 2020 to 2024, that's nearly double. And by the way, they don't obviously have the 2025 numbers now, but they're projecting the 2025 numbers are going to go from 216 billion to 275, which is more than double than just 4 or 5 years ago. And Rob, again, it's not justified, but I get it. And at what point, Rob, does a shift happen, like the iTunes moment? You know, when Steve Jobs and the folks at iTunes said, okay, look, it's becoming harder and more expensive, and now these new tools to make it accessible, what do we need to do to respond? They came up with iTunes, they made it simple, they made it affordable, and everybody was happy.
Except the artists.
Well, but I mean, the artists are less happy today than they were when the iTunes came out.
Yeah.
What kind of shift needs to happen now? What do you attribute the explosion of piracy to the most? And what kind of new shift does the industry, because listen, making it more expensive and making it more complicated ain't helping. It's making the problem worse.
Yeah.
What kind of shift do we need to see here to get people to go, okay, you do this, I don't need to pirate? How do you see it?
Well, one of the big problems is once we turned everything into files, the value of everything basically dropped to zero, because people look at a file and they're like, it's just a file. They don't understand that it might have taken 2 years to produce your favorite album. That costs a lot of money. Same with movies. I mean, and our entertainment, whether it's streaming television shows, whether it's music, whether it's movies, the value of them have dropped in people's minds to zero. They just think entertainment's entertainment, whatever. So there has to be, I think, a re-examination. By the way, it's never going to happen. I wish there were. That society would come back and people would just realize, you know what? If my favorite artist makes something, I shouldn't sit there and go, well, they become rich, so what do they care? I can just steal their shit. We have to somehow instill in people that there is value to these things, that it costs money. Piracy has destroyed low-budget filmmaking. There's no way to make it used to be Hollywood could make a $2 million movie or less and make money on it. That's almost impossible now. It completely took out a sector of an entry-level sector of people could make films and hope to make some money.
How many people pirated John Schnepp's?
Well, that was, you know what?
It nearly destroyed him.
It destroyed him when it was our own community that was stealing Superman Lives, What Happened. And that, I know he went to his grave being bothered by that because millions of people, he would come back and tell me how many millions of people downloaded his movie. And he's like, I have to pay back my investors. These people gave me money to make this film, and I've got my own community stealing my film. And I'm sure I'm not blaming some of the people in this room, but still, it's that mindset. And if we don't understand that these things are not free, you have to understand, like, so much in our society is like, well, if it's what I want, then I should have it. There's no understanding of repercussions, because how do you go after piracy? How do you go after, I was on the high seas today to find this. And to be fair, there's a lot of stuff you can't find. I want to buy Barbarian on physical media. For whatever reason, I can't. Zach Kreger's been bitching about it online, which I love. I would love Second Sight to be licensed at, and I would love to pay $40 to buy Barbarian, but I can't. I can't own, how can I own Barbarian? And that's another thing. If you can't get something and buy it, if it's not available or you can't go get it, people are going to download it. They're going to take it because they want it. And if you're not going to make things available for people, easily obtained, hey, $3.99, $4.99, whatever it is you're going to cost or whatever, make it available for people to do that. I think look, a lot of people are going to steal it anyway. So it's tough. You're never going to get people who are not going to buy for free. Who are not going to buy things. They're going to get it for free. It's very hard to get those people to suddenly pay you. So you have to go after them. Figure out a way to have a downloadable malware in your whatever it is. Don't do this. But we have to change. The only way you can really do it is to somehow en masse change the idea that you got to make sure people know this is stealing. You are preventing your favorite creators from being able to make something else because their material isn't making enough money because you stole it.
I 100% agree.
I don't know how to do that.
I would go one step further, though, and say the industry was doing that. And it was having an impact because, again, from like 2015 to 2020, they saw year after year declines in piracy, right? Why did that curve change to an increase in piracy? It changed because the industry changed.
Yeah.
The industry, like, you can't go and pitch a goodwill message to fans and saying, hey, come on, guys, like, let's reward creators. Let's not steal. Like, there's value in the content. You can't do that. And then as soon as you start getting people on board with it, going, you know what, you're right. It's a goodwill thing. We're fans. We do want to pay for the content we have.
Well,
and then you start screwing them without lube from
yes,
behind.
100%.
You destroy that message. You destroy it. And like, I think now the only way back is going to have to be something along the lines where you address these three things: price increase, dispersal of content, question of ownership.
Yep.
So like a bundle program, like right now we got a bundle program that's what, HBO Max, Disney Plus, and Hulu, right? And that got huge success. So like people know, okay, for a cheaper price, I have this one subscription where I get a lot more of the content that I want. It's going to be very difficult to negotiate, but if at some point like the master bundles can be made, where like Netflix and Peacock and Paramount Plus and HBO and Disney Plus say, hey, we have a master subscription you can have for like $40 a month. You get all of this, one subscription, all your content, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's going to be very difficult to do, but I don't know that appealing to the better nature of fans anymore.
No, it doesn't.
It's going to work when you did that already and then fuck them afterwards anyway.
Well, I mean, what we are seeing in our culture today, whether it's tariffs, vegetable prices, whatever you're looking at, everywhere we look, we are getting screwed by corporately held. I mean, I understand corporations have to make money, but they're raising prices on every level of society.
Yeah.
And everyone, when you're doing that, eventually it's going to be like, well, I'm going to start stealing. On every play, I'm going to start stealing produce from the grocery store. I read an article this morning. It said produce in our grocery stores in America are up. They're as expensive as they were during World War II. Yeah. In terms of, I mean, that's where we're at now.
It's going to go up too, and you're going to have scarcity.
It's scary. It's going to, and the thing is, how if everybody's doing this on every level of society, well, something's got to give, because we, the middle class, that are being screwed over, are eventually. It's like, well, I really want to watch my media, but I have to eat, and I can't afford to pay these subscription prices, so I'll just go to the high seas and steal it. So all of this corporate gouging on every level of society is eventually going to affect every level of corporate gouging, and people are going to do what they're going to be dishonest because the world is turning them dishonest. And it's a big problem, and I think it's affecting everybody in ways that they're not even. But hey, when AI takes over and we all get universal basic income, who cares?
Anyway, guys, the question is for you: what do you think about this? I mean, and listen, I think most rational, semi-intelligent people say, yeah, piracy is wrong. We get it, but that moral message kind of gets lost when we have these corporate entities that are just looking for every way they possibly can to screw you and me over. It makes the average film consumer go, well, maybe I want to screw you a little bit back. What do you think the answers are and the solutions to making it so it can be a win-win for everybody? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.